Scandal, controversy in the Me Too universe. Asia Argento accused of raping a minor. And she is one of the most prominent voices in the Me Too movement. I made a video about this for my main channel just the other day, but we're going to expand upon what's happening because it appears Asia Argento is lying and is trying to use her late boyfriend, Anthony Bourdain, to defend herself because she is a child rapist. And okay, maybe child rapist is a bit extreme, but she raped a minor, okay? I don't want to be overly hyperbolic. She did. And we have this story from BuzzFeed News right here. Jimmy Bennett says he was too ashamed and afraid to publicly accuse Asia Argento of sexually assault, and I agree with that. I mean, look, we hear this from Me Too activists and women that victims of sexual abuse often don't want to speak up out of fear of being shamed. And it aligns exactly with it. So in this instance, we had this actor, he was 17, and a 37-year-old woman, she gave him alcohol. According to his story, she gave him alcohol and she raped him. So let me start right here and say it's all, no, I believe it's no longer an allegation because we have text messages now where she admitted to having sex with him. So she is now, I believe it's fair to say she is a confirmed rapist. Okay, this is important. It seriously is. Let me before getting to Jimmy Bennett's story, I want to go to TMZ because look, we have the photo. They cropped it. You can't see it because apparently you could see a lot more. But this is Asia Argento and Jimmy Bennett, apparently when he was 17. And check this out. This is, gotta say TMZ, this is like some great reporting. Asia Argento says she did not have sex with the 17-year-old Jimmy Bennett, but a photo and various text messages between Argento and a friend tell a very different story. She flat out says she had sex with him. Boom! Asia Argento raped a minor. Now, here's the thing about the language. A lot of people immediately assume that, she forced him, held him down. And that's unfair because in this instance, he alleges she gave him alcohol. She asked someone to leave the room and then started engaging in an act with him that, he was confused, disgusted, and he just went with it. And that happens. But he was a minor. So even if he agreed, we still have statutory rape. But from his own statement, he was confused and disgusted, right? Now, what's funny is, in a text message that TMZ acquired, she said that she had sex with him, it felt weird. She didn't know he was a minor until the shakedown letter. Boom. And then she tries acting like when I was 17, I was a 33-year-old man for years, as if that is okay. She claims that it was Anthony Bourdain that paid this, all right, which may or may not be true, I don't know. But her original statement was that she did not have a relationship with Bennett. Apparently, she's lying. So I have to wonder now if she's going to go to prison. And I have to wonder now if Me Too feminists are going to demand she be removed from Hollywood and be arrested. I mean, look, they went after Harvey Weinstein hard, and they should have. That guy was sick, and he's been doing this for a long time, and I wish, I understand that people didn't speak up sooner, but it would have been great if someone did. But there's a lot of trauma associated with the abuse being perpetrated by that man. So look, I get it. It's traumatizing. Hopefully, now that Argento has been outed by her victim, Jimmy Bennett, or by the New York Times actually, because apparently he tried to keep it quiet, maybe they'll come out and speak out against her because what she did was abuse of a minor, all right? So let's see what we got here. Jimmy Bennett, he spoke up, and apparently there's a statement now. They say the New York Times reported Sunday that when he was 17, Argento was 37, she paid him $380,000, apparently buy the rights to a photo. My understanding is that it wasn't for him to be silent because she couldn't really do that. She couldn't demand an NDA. But it was that he couldn't disparage her or something to that effect. So they claim that Argento was one of the first actors to publicly accuse Harvey Weinstein of sexual assault, has experienced fallout from members of the Me Too movement she has been so prominent in. That has only increased as TMZ has published photos supposedly taken of the alleged assault, showing the two in bed. TMZ published text message exchanges that contradict her statement. My God, she's lying. She had sex with a minor. She gave him alcohol beforehand, according to the story. So Bennett is a former child actor. He played Argento's son. Isn't that sick? They met when he was 7, and he played her son. 10 years later, that's gross. I'm sorry, man. You're an adult. He's a minor. You shouldn't be doing this stuff. Apparently he posted a statement on Instagram. He said, many brave women and men have spoken out about their own experience during the Me Too movement, and I appreciate the bravery that it took for each and every one of them to take such a stand. I did not initially speak out about my story because I chose to handle it in private with the person who wronged me. He did not speak. Argento did not speak to the New York Times prior to its Sunday story, but in a statement on Tuesday, she said she never had sex with Bennett. Instead, she accused him of making exorbitant requests of money because he was having money troubles. It was her late boyfriend, Anthony Bourdain, who personally handled the payout because he was afraid of the possible negative publicity. That sounds like victim blaming. Okay, this was a minor. Apparently now she's admitted it, so. But Bennett said in a statement that his trauma had resurfaced as Argento came out as a victim herself. God, can you imagine what that would be like? To have to be a teenager, have a 37-year-old woman, like you're in a hotel room, she asks someone to leave, she gives you booze, and then, gets on top of you, and you're confused, disgusted, you didn't want to do it, and then later, you have these feelings about, disgust and confusion, and then she comes out and claims she is a victim. And my God, if somebody did something to me and then later claimed they were the victim of that thing, I'd be like, bull fucking shit, fuck you, motherfucker. That is so fucked up. I have to imagine, because apparently this payout happened around the time she was accusing Harvey Weinstein. I have not made a public statement in the past days and hours because I was ashamed and afraid to be part of the public narrative, he said. I was underage when the event took place, and I tried to seek justice in a way that made sense to me at the time because I was not ready to deal with the ramifications of my story becoming public. Here I gotta give some pushback to Bennett because I kind of feel like getting a big payout from someone isn't justice. Like, what are you thinking? Like, I'll make her pay me money and then she'll know she did something wrong? Maybe he thought he couldn't get the justice he wanted. Maybe he thought that no matter what he does, if he accuses her publicly and tries to do a police report, then it's going to be public and the story's going to come out. And maybe he just thought, well, at least this is something. It's some kind of justice to make him feel like he's in control again. I don't know. I don't have these feelings. I don't understand what he's feeling. But I will say, now that it's public and the photos are public, I have to imagine there's got to be some kind of criminal proceedings at this point. So, he said at the time, I believe there was still a stigma to being in the attention as a male in our society. I didn't think that people would understand the event that took place from the eyes of a teenage boy, but that outlook has changed, he added. I would like to move past this event in my life, and today I choose to move forward no longer in silence. An attorney for Argento did not immediately respond to a request for comment. So, did the Me Too feminists speak out against Argento after now TMZ has reported she, in text messages, admitted to engaging in intercourse with a minor? Yeah, they did, but did they really go after her? Not really. Mia Sorvino said she was heartsick over Argento's sexual assault allegations. Heartsick? Oh, come on. If someone I knew and worked with had this happen, I don't think heartsick is the word that I would use to describe finding out someone I knew was abusing children. Okay. He wasn't a child. He's 17. He's basically a man, but taking advantage of people, abusing people, right? Heartsick isn't the right way to describe it, at least in my opinion. You'd think they would come out with the furor and fire that they had against Harvey Weinstein for what he did, because the allegations from Argento were similar, that Harvey, abused her when she was, I don't know if she was, when she was 20 or so, when she was young, took advantage of her. Actor Mia Sorvino, one of the many influential voices in the Me Too and Time's Up movement, said in a brief statement that she was heartsick about the revelation that actor Asia Argento paid off a man who allegedly she sexually assaulted him. Paid off a man who, that sentence is weird. Time will clarify things, and perhaps she will be exonerated. But if true, there is no lens that makes this better. What a heartfelt statement. Really? That's all you have? When is this article from? This is from the 22nd. And the statement from Mia Sorvino is from the 21st, and TMZ reported yesterday. Okay, so it's fair to say that maybe Mia Sorvino didn't see the photos, thinking she's going to be exonerated. Yeah, we got a photo of her lying in bed topless with the dude. I think that's evidence, and when she's in text messages admitting it, yeah. That's why I think it's really important. And look, I'll say this, I felt like I was being hyperbolic calling Jimmy Bennett a child because he was 17. He's a teenager. He's still a minor. But she said, child sexual assault is a heinous crime and is against all that I and the Me Too movement stands for. I remain dedicated to fight for all victims and change the culture that encourages abuse of power in sexual relationships. But she did say time will clarify things and perhaps she will be exonerated. Are you kidding me? Perhaps she will be exonerated? Did you say that about Harvey Weinstein? Did you say that about anybody? No, we don't. Look, yes, perhaps someone will be exonerated, but either have that position be consistent, right? If you were going to ask me about Harvey Weinstein when it first broke, I'd be like, oh, let's see what the evidence. We got a lot of accusations. Same thing with Bill Cosby and these other people. We got a lot of accusations. All right, let's see how it plays out. And the courts are going to work this. The courts aren't perfect, so I look forward to hearing the statements and evidence. In this instance, someone like New York Times had documents. The New York Times stated on record they had a photo of Argento and Bennett in bed. Okay, and TMZ stated on record too before they published it. So how are you? You know what? At least she's speaking out. She's not the only one. Other people have spoken out too. So at least there's that. But is it at all surprising that someone like Asia Argento, look, she admitted it in text messages. TMZ published this. Is it at all surprising that she was engaging in similar behavior that she was criticizing other people for? No, because people are hypocrites. And it's all about political power. She was grandstanding up on stage, pointing people out, saying this, that, and whatnot. And it turns out she was actually talking about herself. It's funny, when she went up on stage and said there's people in Hollywood who do these things, were you referring to yourself, Miss Argento? Because apparently you were. But you know what? I guess, there's the story. So it looks like we have some other, Me Too founder Tarana Burke said, people will use these recent news stories to try and discredit this movement. Don't let that happen. Burke also said that this movement is making space for possibility. But it can only happen after we crack open the whole can of worms and get really comfortable with the uncomfortable reality that there is no one way to be a perpetrator. No one way. You mean that Asia Argento engaged in intercourse with a minor? Is that a different thing to what like other people are doing? No, it's the same shit, different day. So you know what? I think their statements are a little weak, but at least they are speaking out. What else can they do? And I feel like in any political tribe, when a man is accused by a woman, right, the right is going to be like, well, hold on, let's look at the evidence. And the left is going to do the same thing. There have been feminist professors and academics who have been accused women, and then the feminists come to their defense because it's politics. Yeah. Anyway, I'm getting out of here. Thanks for hanging out. Stick around. I'll have more videos up tomorrow on the main channel at 4.